All right, Theory-Wise is about to hop on the call right now, boys. We're about to do a little interview about why a lot of WoW players are going back to WoW. And so that's the topic for the day. Talking with Theory-Wise right now.
Okay, good to go now.
All right, awesome. How you doing, buddy?
Going well, it's doing well. How about you?
Man, never better, honestly, never better.
Yeah, I was gonna say congratulations on the Inferno. I was watching that and I was like, damn, okay, I gotta step my game up.
Oh, you don't have the Inferno cape yet?
I gotta get the quiver before you now. You know, I wanna race you for the quiver and then I'll go, I'll go for the Inferno.
Oh, okay. Because I got the Inferno already, so you can't win that one, so you got to try to get a W. I see. You know what? Try to get your W's in life where you can. I think that's important.
I will be the first to admit that I did not expect 2 weeks, that you're mental to handle 2 weeks. I can't handle 2 weeks of straight Inferno attempts. It shatters my mental, honestly.
Dude, I mean, the Inferno doesn't really shatter me. It's the Ironman. It's the Ironman that gets me, bro. I didn't realize how many runes it was going to be per attempt. I started doing Inferno, had no clue what I was doing. So I went in there, I was like, hell yeah. I farmed like 300 snaps or like prayer restores. I farmed like 100 Hawaskas for the prayer regens. I'm like, hell yeah, I got pots. We're going to do like 50 attempts. It's going to be sick. Little did I know, I had like 7K blood runes, bro. That was like a day. And so every single day, it was just rune crafting all day, every day, off stream. It was crazy. Like, it was so much, bro.
I mean, I'm in the same boat. Obviously I'm Ironman too, so I got to get ready for my supplies. That's obviously going to crack my mental too a little bit. It's like the 2 hours of like getting there and then like, oh shit, I fucked up. Now I have to go all the way back and get all those supplies, get them ready again and spend it. And I'm sure my group Ironman partner is not going to be happy when he's looking at our, group storage. We're all prayer pots, but
I have not experienced any of the group Ironman stuff, but I can imagine that, yeah, you guys are gonna help each other out there.
For sure. Well, listen, okay, we'll see who gets the quiver first. I'm ahead of you stats wise and preparation wise. So if I get it ahead of you, it won't be the biggest W ever, but we'll see. We'll see.
No, dude, take your win. Take it. Go after it. Good luck, bro. It's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, no. The Coliseum is a different beast, kind of. I think there's some like transferable skills like stacking and unstacking, but the final fight is way cooler in my opinion in the Coliseum. It's really cool.
I hear it's harder mechanically, but shorter fights. So I'm looking forward to not have to do the endurance portion of
it'll
the
take you less
Inferno
time.
Again.
For sure. You've improved a lot. I can see that obviously, and it'll take you less time than the Inferno. I think, just as you said, it's like 30-minute attempts at most. It's not going to be 2 hours, every time.
Yeah, I'm cool with like just doing the harder parts quicker. I like that.
Yeah, me too. That's my main issue with the Inferno. It's like 45 waves of nothing. But okay, I didn't want to take up too much of your time. But I have two big questions. One really quick one and one longer one. The first one really quickly is what's happening with hardcore TBC? I have no idea what's going on there. I'm like hearing that Blizzard's not doing it, but there is going to be OnlyFans, and I'm just curious as a viewer, what's going on with that?
The way that Blizzard operates is like they're not gonna put in that much effort for a small portion of the player base. Now, if that small portion of the player base makes enough noise, then eventually they'll cave. Especially if you have somebody like Soda Poppin' who's saying, hey, I'll bring 100,000 viewers to the section if you give me what I want, which is a server. And he's pretty much saying that he's gonna do it. Now he's saying he's gonna do it whether they give us a server or not. So I think OnlyFans might actually be better with the add-on because that actually invites more drama with people cheating the add-on and stuff like that if they get caught. And it's the whole thing is built on drama. Let's be honest, it's a reality TV show. So TBC Hardcore is coming, whether Blizzard is going to give a server or not. And I am most excited about TBC Hardcore. I don't really care about the third relaunch of TBC. It's kind of whatever. The only thing that interests me about playing TBC is to do one more playthrough before I start playing it on hardcore forever. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. But there is some buzz around TBC, and I'm not trying to like toot my own horn or anything here, but I usually end up doing a lot of things about a month before the rest of the player base kind of starts doing something. And Guzu is about a month ahead of me. So it's like I see Guzu doing something and then I start doing it and the rest of the player base kind of comes behind that. So he's kind of like Guzu is kind of like the pioneer of like MMO movements, if you will, in the past, at least for the ones that I've been following. And so if Guzu's doing it and then I decide to do it, and I usually see like a lot of people. So I think a lot of people will be on board with TBC hardcore once the hype starts building around it and people realize that, dude, TBC the third time around, like, come on, how much are we going to milk this game?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, if you can't milk OnlyFans in Classic for more than like 4 or 5 months, then it's definitely not going to happen in TBC, where there's way less content, right? And way less of a journey leveling, which is the most fun, I think, part of OnlyFans and watching all those journeys happen. But I guess the part that's crazy to me is, from the Blizzard side of perspective, is that OnlyFans generated more hype for Anniversary Classic than anything else. And then they're like, we're not making hardcore servers for TBC, which is just, that doesn't make any sense to me. Even just from like an advertisement perspective, it doesn't make sense to me.
If it was Jagex, it'd already be done deal. But it's Blizzard, and they have so much corporate interest, and they're a massive company with way more players and like way more money and like investors to deal with. So I understand, I guess, in a way, you know, it's just like you can't just do stuff because it sounds like a good idea. You have so many hoops to jump through in that company.
Yeah, the way
their hands
agile.
are tied, if you will, you know?
Yeah. Way less agile, and that's partly why Classic WoW took them like 4 years to actually bring out, when obviously it should have come out a bit earlier based on the, you know, the outcry for it, I should say. But no, okay, that's reasonable, and I'm excited to see that happen because I feel like, you know, that's going to be fun. If for as long as it's going to be a month, 2 months, whatever, it's going to be a blast to watch. So very exciting for sure.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, that's the only thing that has me excited about anything WoW related is right now is TBC hardcore and whenever Classic Plus comes out. But that's still a maybe. And I mean, we all think it's coming, but you know, until they announce it, it's like,
I'm expecting an announcement at some point during BlizzCon and a release between midnight and the next expansion for retail. That's my expectation. That would fit the Blizzard MO, but we'll see when what happens there. I guess like okay, no, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. I don't want to continue that line of questioning. But before I get to the main meat, what's your time played on your account right now in Old School?
Almost 74 days. I just hit 74 days. It was 673 last night when I got the cape, and everybody was like 73.
I mean, listen, that's an Inferno speed run for most players, I feel, right? That's crazy. I'm at just for the record, 235 days. So that's my time played right now.
Holy.
Yep. I played a lot. A lot of it is AFK. Like I'm AFKing salvaging right now for sailing. So a lot of it's AFK, but a lot of time playing for sure.
Dude, I feel you on the AFK thing. I probably have 5 or 6 days of just being online in the game, standing around.
For sure. No, I get it. Yeah, also, yeah, obviously, like you might log off, like, oh yeah, I'll log off doing the shooting star, and then that's 25 minutes extra or 15 whatever minutes extra on your time played. It stacks up.
I'll be online for like 20 minutes every day before I start my stream, just standing there. And then sometimes I'll just stand in there and talk to stream for 2 or 3 hours and do nothing.
Yeah. And listen, now you can. It's like aura farming, right? With your new Inferno cape. It looks good.
It looks sick, man. I love this part about RuneScape, having something to show for what you've done. And if Classic Plus really needs an Inferno cape and a Zuck helm in the game, like achievements with something to show for it is such a good meta for MMOs. And I think that's what's missing from modern Classic WoW is there's nothing to do beyond raid logging, and achievements would give you something to do.
For sure. I mean, I think there's only one cape that looks better than the Inferno cape, and that's the Inferno Max cape, which looks fucking amazing.
Which I'm never getting.
Yeah, no.
I don't know, man. I love the combat, but the skilling, bro, it does look sick. Man, I don't know. I say that I'm never getting it, but maybe one day I'll cave. We'll see.
I mean, I want it. I do want it, but like on the other hand, I'm looking at my skills. I'm 2291 total, and all of my skills left over that aren't 99 apart from sailing, which is 87 right now, which is very easy to get to 99, is Runecraft, Agility, and like Herblore and shit, which is pretty easy. So I know I'm leaving all the worst shit to the last second, and that's gonna burn me out of the game. Like doing 200 hours of Runecraft sounds like, man, I'm taking a year break after that, you know? Yeah, no thanks, especially Agility. Holy shit. But okay. Real topic time. So I've been doing a little bit of research here and there. I'm working on my next video, which is going to be a bit of a sequel to my video talking about why a lot of WoW players are switching to OSRS, and I'll be talking about why some of those players have went back to WoW or quit OSRS for the time being anyway. I kind of want to make a sequel, talk about some of the elements that work in the game, some of the elements that scare people off or didn't connect with certain WoW players. And I've been reaching out to a lot of WoW players, a lot of the streamers here and content creators, just getting their perspective. I yesterday sat down with Jokered for like 2.5 hours. Shout out to him, and we chatted about it. That episode is going to be on my podcast soon. Really great conversation, and I kind of wanted to hear your perspective on it too, right? Like I talked to Zaryu a little bit as well. I want to hear your perspective of what connected with people, what didn't connect with people. Why do you think a lot of people dropped off in the mid game? And then maybe we can have a bit of a conversation about that.
Yeah. Well, sure. Do you want to talk about anything specific, or you want to start with the opening question or something like that, and we'll go from there?
Yeah. I guess the opening question here would be just very broad. So we had a bunch of WoW players come in. A lot of them left. What do you think is the main culprit for those streamers/players for leaving OSRS?
Personally, I'm gonna blame it on Ironman. I don't think that we should have started Ironman accounts, and I'm pretty strong on this take, and I'll die on this hill even if I'm wrong. I don't think that I think all of us should have played mains to start the game, and we could have, that allow you to advance through some of the skilling a bit faster. And WoW players are not skillers, they're combat oriented. They do 99% combat, and WoW, it takes literally 2 hours to level a profession to max. So finding out that you're a skiller, like Joker, he kind of discovered that he's a skiller. I don't even think he knew that he was until he played the game. So I think Ironman was perfect for Joker, and he found his niche, and he is the only one, in my opinion, that should have done Ironman. So that's my short take on that particular question.
Retrospectively, I think we're all surprised by Joker's connection with the game, but also retrospectively, maybe we shouldn't have been, because he did 2,500 Therazane solos to get that dagger, right? So maybe at that point we're like, okay, dude's built for the grind.
Yeah,
nothing's gonna take him away.
But that is still combat, you know. Imagine he had to do 2,000 laps or 5,000 laps of gathering herbs in Stranglethorn Vale for a chance at a rare proc to loot, you know, some dagger that gave him plus herb lore experience. Like, you know, it's tough to relate WoW grinding to RuneScape grinding because there isn't anything like it, and until you play RuneScape, you don't find out if you're a real grinder or not.
Yeah, I mean, I both agree and maybe slightly differ in my perspective, specifically on the Iron Man thing, because like I agree that the Iron Man mode is really grindy, and I think I mentioned this in our first conversation where I'm like, group Iron Man probably would have helped, but on the other hand, Iron Man are just way more interesting to watch than mains.
Oh yeah,
like just from and I think
that's why
something kind of
I 100% agree, and that's why me and Zara have been like preaching this somewhere in the middle road, like an Iron main, or what I called it, a collection log main, where you can't buy anything off the auction house except for like supplies. You can't, like, you could buy like a scythe, but you can't equip it until you've actually opened it in the collection log. So yeah, it's like a middle of the road idea, like a bronze man that can't PvP his gear, or even you could PvP your gear. You can't equip it though until you've earned it. And so like a middle of the road type of game mode is something that like me and Zaryu were super passionate about, that the community didn't really get behind. I was like kind of shocked. I thought that a lot of people were going to be like, dang, that's a good idea. And half the people just kind of rolled their eyes at it. And I was like, oh, well, sometimes you think you have a good idea and it's just like, it's just not. And yeah,
sometimes you think you do, but you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I get it. But also, no, I actually agree with you completely. I think that OSRS is in a unique position where I don't think adding more game modes detracts from the game at all. It's so connected to like the economy and all of it. The more game modes, the merrier for OSRS. It does not split the player base at all. There are no like separate servers or anything needed. It just exists in the game world. It's super easy. So I think an official Bronze Man mode would work really well in the game. And there's even an icon that fits perfectly, right? We have the Iron Man icon and we just have a Bronze Man icon. It works really well. And I of course agree with not making PvP a gearable opportunity, because I think that really just is open for exploitation and devaluing what
Yeah, I think it's totally. I honestly think it's totally fine. That you can PvP on a bronze man, but you can't equip any of the items until you've unlocked it in the clog. So it's really just a collection log locked account. Like you can't equip anything until you've got it in your collection log, and you can sell and buy on the auction house, but you can't equip it. So like, what's the point of having a scythe in your inventory if you can't use it? And that's where it would be super easy to code. You just can't equip it until it's unlocked in the collection log.
Would you be able to GE it?
Yeah. If you want, if you can get a scythe and GE it, whatever you want. You can be a billionaire. You can get 1 billion gold traded to you. It doesn't matter, because even if you buy a scythe, you can't use it. And like, that would be the game mode where it's like, who cares if people buy gold or whatever you want to do on that account? You still have to earn all of your items at least once.
I think it's an avenue worth exploring. You know, if there's anyone at Jagex listening right now at 1 p.m. on a Thursday, or at least 1 p.m. for me on a Thursday, it's like 10 p.m. for them in British time. Yeah, so let's get to work. That'd be sick.
And eventually, once you've unlocked all the collection logs, you're just a main.
Yeah, that's true. You could build up for that.
Yeah, you basically are trying to just unlock your account as a main.
It would solve for a lot of issues, because I want to see you guys, you specifically, because I know you're big into PVM, get into the Desert Treasure 2 fights, specifically the Awakened versions, right? Those are, to me, the coolest end game challenge in the game, like more so than Inferno and Colosseum. Mm-hmm. They're not necessarily harder in that, like, they're 3-minute fights, but they are mechanically cooler. They're harder, like, in that individual moment. But they're so obnoxious to do on an Ironman, because you have to collect Awakener's orbs for even attempting them. Yep. So most Ironmen just make mains and then buy those orbs and then learn them and then go to your Ironman. And that's a way less interesting of a journey to take, for sure. So I definitely agree with you on that one. And I think Zaryu actually in DMs echoed that too. He's like, listen, a bronze med mode would really help keep people playing, because the mid game of OSRS Ironman is so resource heavy. It's so management centric. If you don't connect with a management element like Joker did, you fall off completely.
Yeah, it's not a coincidence that all these WoW players hit a wall at CG and stop playing the game. They're all at CG. Guzu, Savix, Ampi, and Shobek. They're all at CG. Like, that's not a coincidence. Most Ironman end up quitting right around that time.
Could it be that CG is just too much of a bottleneck? Like, because CG, think about CG, right? What does CG do? It pretty much opens the entire end game for an Ironman, right? Like, without the Bofa and the full crystal armor, you don't do over 300 TO. I mean, you can, but you wouldn't do over 300 TOAs. You wouldn't do TOB, although you don't really use the Bofa and TOB. You wouldn't do Cox, right? Like, you wouldn't Inferno, certainly not. Colosseum sometimes if you bring in the Bofa there, like, it's opens up so much of the end game, and it feels so bottlenecked. Like, you're all siphoned into doing the CG, and you have like no other kind of content to do. It feels like a lack of diversity can also breed that, like, a red prison meme, right? Mm-hmm. Do you feel like maybe you should work on that?
I don't know. I haven't given any thought to what I would do as a game developer to fix that issue, so I don't really have too much input. I think it's a rite of passage as a RuneScape player, and you kind of find out if you're a RuneScape player or not if your mental is willing to withstand that grind. And that grind is different based on each person. I mean, right around the 300 mark of CG, I started to have thoughts like, damn, is this game for me? Like, this, it started to get to me too. The Red Prison, it's called that for a reason. And I think that Joker's approach was the best, where he was just doing like a certain amount of CGs per day. Whereas I decided I was going to lock myself in there and not come out until I got it. Luckily, I was only in there for 3 days after locking myself in there, and I got it at 322. But it could have been much worse for me. So yeah, I don't know what they can do. And I think that that's where being a main is probably more for most people, because most people don't have 2 to 3 years to put into an Ironman at an average amount of game time played per day. Like, me and Joker and these guys are playing 10 to 16 hours a day. An average person that comes home from work, has a family and stuff, they're playing 2 hours a day, and that's probably a lot. So 2 years, and we're probably like an average 2-year account is where I'm at right now. And that's just not likely for an average player to be able to do. That's why I think main is a better for a casual player.
Yeah, I mean, for a casual player, I 100% agree with you. I think like it's that streamer issue, right, where you can recognize that Iron Man journey, so to say, which would be solved for the Bronze Man, is more interesting for the viewer, but it's also painful. Even for streamers, even for most people, I think it's really, really difficult to kind of brave that super big mid game resource gate. Because in the end game, it becomes a lot easier. Like
Mhm.
resources become super plentiful in the end game. It's really easy, but like nowadays, I have like thousands of prayer pots, but in the mid game, it was a fucking
Oh, dude, it was
struggle.
awful. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Jern in the chat just had a good question. It's like, I mean, that's just more game to play, right? What's the issue? And I think that coming from a streamer's standpoint, since your question was like, why are the streamers leaving to WoW? That's the problem. Is it's too much game for a streamer that doesn't want to be locked down to one game forever. Guzu, Savix, all these guys, they wanted to come over and try RuneScape. I don't think that they necessarily came in and were like, I'm going to be a RuneScape player forever now. And that kind of scared them because they realized that, like, dude, in order to be a RuneScape player, it takes your entire life. Like, you have to dedicate years, even as a streamer who's playing 8 hours a day. This game will devour years from your life. And that is a scary ass thought. Like, you have to dedicate so much to this game to accomplish, some of these in-game goals. And that can be a little bit too much to handle, I think, for a lot of streamers. Like, at first, they're like, oh shit, I'm not even going to be able to play WoW anymore if I want to, like, do some of the in-game stuff in this game. Especially if you go dry on an Ironman. Ironman, on average, takes double the amount of time as everything as a main. And you could, if you go dry, that has effects on your mental. And so you very quickly figure out if this game is for you or not, I think right around the very first grind, which is that CG grind.
Do you think that it's also kind of, and you mentioned this, you touched on this with them being more combat focused and WoW obviously being like 70% combat and it would be like 90% if we're factoring the time it takes to run to individual combat encounters. Like, is this also not a flaw, but just a difference in attitude, right? Like you're coming into OSRS as a WoW streamer, you're expecting something very immediately combat driven. It seems like every one of these players, both the ones that quit and didn't, love the PVM in RuneScape, right? We can all agree that the PVM in RuneScape is really something special. But it's just the fact that a lot of them wanted to mainly do the PVM in RuneScape, and the management side of RuneScape is the real kind of like block. It's like, well, I don't know if I like it that part of the game.
Yeah, that's kind of where I find myself. Is I'm not really an Iron Man enjoyer per se. I'm more of an Iron Man tolerator, and I do feel obligated as a streamer to maintain my Iron Man status because it's more interesting to watch. People can immediately verify that I didn't get handouts. They come in and then you see that badge, and that badge is like, it's almost like a badge of honor as an Iron Man, as a streamer. And I feel a sense of pride when I have that badge, that Iron Man badge. And so because I have a sense of pride for that badge, I tolerate the things that I don't like about Iron Man, because the things that I do like about it are infinitely outweigh the things that I don't. And I find that it's worth it for me. And it's not such a bad thing as a streamer to have more game to play. I'll be honest there. However, it can be, I still do have those thoughts like, damn, well, what if I do want to, play hardcore TBC? And it's just like, dang, now that's going to put me so far behind, when I come back, because I have so much game to play over here. But if you look at it more as like, as your Iron Man, as like a lifelong journey, than just a casual game that I'm going to go and play, then I think you'll have a better outlook on it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to see from a lot of the WoW streamers, right? Like, I don't know if I ever really believed that any of them would only play RuneScape, and nor do I think that any streamer should only play one game. Quite frankly, I wish that's a career issue. That's not like a issue of perspective or taste or whatever. It's a career issue. If you have most of your viewers into one game, it's horrifying and potentially career ruining if you just swap to a different game and none of them follow you. So it's a very scary thing there too. And I think a lot of people that watch streams, that watch Twitch, YouTube, whatever, need to empathize a little bit with that too. It's like, oh, well, they're doing it for the money. It's like, well, it's their job. They kind of have to also consider that, right? If they want to pay rent. I definitely understand there. I want to really like hone in on one thing there, right? It's the management side of the game. You said that Iron Man aspect doesn't appeal. And I want to connect that to something I'm hearing a lot from the WoW streamers as they go back to WoW and think about Classic Plus, which is something we talk about a good amount and consider and hope for the best for, obviously, and try to imagine a future. And I know that you're aware that Zaryo made that big spreadsheet of all the different things that Classic Plus could include. And then he polled his viewers in a very OSRS way. But something I've been hearing is like, just do what OSRS is doing, but with WoW. But the more I think that we think about this, is the more we realize that, well, how is that possible? How do we have a long-term game like OSRS and then make a long-term game like WoW without also porting the parts of OSRS that, you and other people don't like?
Oh man, I've been thinking about this a lot. Like I said at the beginning of the conversation, that one thing that I really want to see brought over is the collection log, the combat achievements, the quest completions, like this idea of number go up. This is what classic WoW needs to focus on, is having more numbers to go up than just your level and your gear.
Completed.
It's the most important thing, in my opinion, that classic WoW can do, is they need way more number go up. And RuneScape has so much number go up that that's what I think is the sweet spot. And my number just went up right now. It's level 76
Hey,
Slayer.
hell yeah. Congrats. You're 10 levels away from Slayer actually becoming fun, by the way. Don't let anyone gaslight you and tell you that Slayer is the best skill. No skill is the best skill when 85 levels suck. Okay, I'm just sorry, chat. All right? But like, holy shit, all right? Slayer becomes really fun when you actually unlock Slayer bosses and stuff, like actual stuff to get instead of like bursting and just AFKing mobs. But on that topic, because I agree with you, I totally agree that this is what Classic needs. But my concern is that the reason why old school RuneScape can have so many like intersectional systems, so many cross-pollinated skills and all this kind of stuff, all this number go up, is because of those management elements that people don't like, right? Like if you have 24 skills in old school RuneScape, that only functions when they're slow, when there's a lot of number go up, when they actually have a reason and incentive to level them. Classic doesn't have that, and if they added that, wouldn't that create the same exact environment that made the Classic players quit RuneScape, or WoW players quit RuneScape?
Yeah, I think that I like it personally on a smaller scale. So I would love a maybe slightly more watered down skill version of what RuneScape has. Just maybe a little bit less skills, a little bit less time, maybe cut the time in half that it takes to get to a 99. But I would still like to see a classic WoW where all the skills are unlocked. They all have meaning. You can craft gear, or you get upgrades based on your skill levels. Some of the skills intertwine and work together. The systems, if you will. I love RuneScape systems, and I prefer it so much more than World of Warcraft, even though I really enjoy doing mostly combat in World of Warcraft.
I love combat in WoW. I always say I love the leveling especially. And I think that I would like to see Blizzard do that, right? Obviously, I've always said that. I maintain that stance. I would love to see Blizzard swing for the fences and go for something more long-term, not just combat. And I would also like, more horizontal systems that exist separate from it. Kind of like sailing for RuneScape, right? Like you have this separate progression system that does help the rest of the game a little bit with different unlocks and islands and stuff, but it's still insular in that it's a progression system for your boat. And I'd love to see that in WoW, right? Like I'd love a whole separate mount progression system in WoW. Maybe you can like have mount equipment. This item makes your mount be able to double jump, and it's hard to get, and you have to grind for it, but it makes it really, really cool and makes you able to get to certain locations in the game. Stuff like that, where it's not just directly increasing your power, because then you get to that point in WoW where, okay, well, your power is increased so much that you don't need to do Molten Core anymore, where you don't need to do Black Moon Layer anymore. How does Blizzard add all those like cool horizontal impactful changes like unlocking teleports in OSRS to WoW? Does WoW have the systems or even the potential to have that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say they want, better flight paths and stuff in classic WoW. Well, like, why not make people earn those? And that's just one idea of having to unlock quality of life. Quality of life is not part of the game in classic WoW, and it is the massive, massive part of the game in RuneScape. And I really enjoy unlocking quality of life. And why not start thinking about that as a dev at Blizzard? Like, how do we make quality of life? How do we make number go up? How do we have more achievements in the game, more cosmetics to show that you've accomplished those achievements or those really hard achievements? Can we make the game, can we add more, is there any way we can add solo content into the game? Because nowadays a lot of MMOs is just playing the game solo with other people. And that's kind of how we've just evolved as MMO players, in my personal opinion. We enjoy playing the game solo, but if we want to, then we can group. It should be optional to group. And WoW is so group heavy that the only real solo content there is questing. So Outside of that, it's like, how can we add more solo content into WoW and make the systems more like RuneScape while still keeping it WoW? And that's such a hard thing to tackle as a dev, but I would love for them to be able to figure it out.
I agree. Okay, hold on. Before I ask one of my final questions is my mic gonna sound better when I do this? Hello, hello, hello.
I mean, I would say yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think it was picking up my camera microphone for some reason.
I think you were using your webcam.
Yep. Thank you to my group Ironman partner for messaging me on Discord and pointing that out. Okay. So sorry if I'm too loud, guys. Yeah, might have to adjust the volume a little bit. Okay. So no, I agree with everything you're saying. So essentially, you and I kind of agree that Blizzard needs to take a risk to make Classic Plus work, and they might not have the time necessary to just start really slow like OSRS did because of how expensive it is to produce World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it is very expensive.
Yeah.
And the Classic team doesn't have as much money as the retail team. So I see that being another problem that Classic has to tackle. I don't know much about the inner workings of Blizzard's team, their hiring team and all that, but I hope that they've hired a lot more people on to bring in the talent that they need to make Classic Plus at least, a contender for a very popular MMO here in the future, because that's the game that I would love to play and love to sink thousands of hours into if it's a good game. But Classic team has always talked about how they don't have the resources to do it. They have to use retail's art team. They're like a 5-man squad trying to do everything. They have to put in orders from the retail team in order to get anything done, which is why in SOD, they had reused armor from TBC that was recolored. They didn't have the art team to design different armor sets and things like that. There was all reused assets that were just a different color. And to be honest, I didn't care about it. I didn't even care at all that it was reused assets, because we got a pretty good game at the very end of Season of Discovery. I feel like they kind of started figuring it out more, which gave me a lot of hope towards the future for what Classic Plus could be.
Yeah. I think Season of Discovery was an interesting experiment, right? It was interesting. I think there was many flaws with it, but it was kind of like a peek behind the curtain of what a couple developers can do. And now you need 90 other ones to make it really fleshed out and work, which, on one hand, that's a huge investment on Blizzard's side of things. And if they don't get the return, I think Blizzard's the kind of company to if they don't instantly get something successful, I don't know if Blizzard has the okay from Microsoft to be like, guys, give us like 2-3 years to make it like function properly and get that new and growing player base that it needs to continue being successful. That's my core fear, right? Like OSRS kind of worked with 4 or 5 developers, and it only became better when they hired 10, 15, 20, 30, now like over 50, I think. I don't know if Classic really has that time. That's my main concern with Blizzard's philosophy. They might start off too slow, make it too similar to the regular Classic, and people have already played the regular Classic 4 times because they keep re-releasing it,
I feel you on that. Yep, people are going to start getting... people are already kind of burnt out of where WoW is at, in my opinion, right now.
Yeah.
I'm personally still blown away that Ultra Hardcore is popping off in the way that it is, because we played Hardcore so many times now. But that's kind of the natural evolution of MMOs these days, is you see content creators, how they make content is essentially they strip away features of the game. So content equals taking away content from the game. And
making it harder.
It makes it harder, right? Like look at the biggest content creator in RuneScape. What does he do? Settled. He gets 1 million views a video, and all he does is take away 90% of the game.
So what you're saying is he's adding a lot of friction to his game.
Yeah. A lot of friction.
It's a good word. It's a good word. Okay, chat. Don't make fun of me. It's a good fucking word. So it's really important. It explains a lot of why we like old school and classic, by the way, more than retail. But okay, that's essentially all I wanted to cover. The last thing I'll ask you is, if you had to pick like one thing, just out of your entire life playing video games, all that kind of stuff, your armchair game design, like I am an armchair game designer. If you had to pick one thing to add to Classic WoW, Classic Plus, and one thing to add to OSRS, apart from the grouping system, because we kind of talked about that last call, what would it be?
Let's see. Well, for me, it's easy. The OSRS Zuckhelm system, Infernal Cape, Coliseum. Those are the premier things in the game that I'm looking forward to doing. And so I would want those in Classic WoW. I would want some sort of achievement system, combat achievement system that gives you a cosmetic reward if you're able to do something that's pretty challenging. And that would be my number one thing that I would want in Classic WoW. If I could bring anything to OSRS from World of Warcraft, I would say it's not necessarily game design. It's more like UI, like the ability to have a guild, the ability to group up with someone, like have a party, see their health bars on the side, and maybe even just incorporate a little bit more UI in the grouping systems and how you're able to like see information of others and then talk to them. I think that all of that could use a little bit of like everything you have to do it, you need a plugin for. And it's okay, but I would love to see just like a guild system with better, chat options, grouping options, and communication and stuff like that. That's the primary thing that I would like to see in OSRS come over from WoW, because I think that WoW does guilds and parties and dungeons and things like that so well that every game should try to copy a little bit of what World of Warcraft is doing there.
Yeah, I agree.
And you can't, I mean, it's RuneScape. It's a click to play versus a WASD movement. It's tough to really cross over anything else. I think that RuneScape, for what RuneScape is, it does it amazingly already with the combat design and the movement. So I love WoW's movement, but there's no way to incorporate that into RuneScape.
Yeah, I wouldn't want RuneScape to change its tick system and its tile-based movement and stuff. It's kind of like developed its own identity around that. I think RuneScape people, I know the old school RuneScape fans agree with me here. We shouldn't make OSRS's combat and stuff like that mimic World of Warcraft, right? They're not competing. They can exist simultaneously. They exist in different subgenres within the main umbrella genre of MMO.
They may or may not have tried that already.
Yeah, they definitely, dabbled in action combat, or sorry, tap targeting combat, but and that to mixed results, I would say. As someone who recently did a lot of time in that game, mixed results. Although the combat is better now, a lot better now. That's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you. It was fun, pleasure talking. Thank you for all the insight. I'll be including some of it in my upcoming video about this stuff. So I really appreciate it.
Yo. W, man, thank you very much for the interview. Chat, W's in the chat for Theory-Wise. Thank you so much for having me, bro. And let's do it again soon.
Let's do it, man. Much love. Good luck on your Slayer grind. Don't burn out until 85, okay? Get to those bosses. Fucking Araxor. Giga Chat fight. Really fun. Okay. Bye. Have a nice rest of your stream. Peace out.
Peace, bro. Yo, Mr. Theory-Wise himself, man. Right there. Holding it down. Mr. Friction.